The containment cell reeked of rust and despair. Zara 7, a Philesian from the agricultural moons of Theta Prime, pressed her furred back against the cold metal wall, her violet eyes dulling with each labored breath. The iron chains bit into her wrists, their weight a constant reminder of her worthlessness in Krill eyes. She was merchandise now. Damaged merchandise. The slave auction had been 3 solar cycles ago. Her owner, a bloated Krill warlord named the Ktten, had grown bored of her when she'd failed to properly scrub his trophy room. One cracked vase, one moment of clumsiness, and she'd been dragged to this execution chamber beneath the arena. Through the ventilation grate above, she could hear the roar of the crowd. They were waiting for her blood. Zara's ears flattened against her skull. She'd heard stories of the arena's brutality, how the Krill brought their defective property here to die for entertainment. Small, weak species like hers stood no chance against the combat drones or the apex predators they unleashed. She closed her eyes, her whiskers trembling. At least it would be quick. At least she wouldn't have to endure another day of Vex's cruelty. Another night of wondering if her family on Theta Prime even remembered her name. The door hissed open. Zara didn't look up. What was the point? Heavy boots echoed across the chamber, flawing at the clicking talons of Krill guards. But something different. Something that made the ground thud with each step. Jesus Christ, a voice muttered, deep and rough with barely contained fury. What kind of sick bastards chain up a kid? Zara's eyes snapped open. A human stood before her. She'd heard whispers about humans in the slave pens, new species that had recently made contact with the galactic community. They were primitive by most standards, from a backwater planet called Earth, but they'd somehow managed to cobble together faster than light travel from scraps and mathematics. This one was tall, built like the combat servitors Thex kept in his guard towers. His skin was sun-darkened, his jaw covered in dark stubble. A name patch on his combat vest read Martinez, Sergeant Jake Martinez, if the rank insignia meant anything. People, these, Zara whispered, her translator collar crackling to life. Make it quick. Jake's expression darkened. Quick. Kid, I'm not here to hurt you. He knelt beside her, and Zara flinched, expecting a blow. Instead, his calloused fingers worked at her chains with surprising gentleness. He pulled some kind of tool from his belt, human technology she didn't recognize, and the locks clicked open one by one. There we go, Jake said, his voice softening as the chains clattered to the floor. Can you stand? Zara stared at him, her mind struggling to process what was happening. You're freeing me. But the arena, screw the arena. Jake helped her to her feet, steadying her when her legs nearly buckled. My unit's been tracking this trafficking ring for 2 months. We got a tip that Thex was moving merchandise through here. And he stopped, his jaw clenching. Didn't expect to find anyone this young. How old are you? 13 solar cycles, Zara said, though her voice felt distant, disconnected. Jake's eyes blazed with something fierce and protective. 13, you're just a kid. He tapped a device on his wrist. Martinez Tereus, I've got a survivor in holding cell 7. Female Philesian, juvenile. She's malnourished and she's chained up like an animal. A woman's voice crackled through his cum. Copy that, Jake. Med team's standing by. Get her out of there. Roger that. Jake gently placed a hand on Zara's shoulder, guiding her toward the door. Come on, sweetheart. Let's get you somewhere safe. Zara's legs moved mechanically, her mind still reeling. But, why would you help me? Humans don't, you're not part of the Galactic Coalition's protection protocols. You have no obligation. Jake's laugh was bitter. Where I come from, you don't need a damn protocol to know that slavery's wrong, especially when it's a child. They emerged into a corridor lit by emergency lights. Zara could hear weapons fire in the distance, shouts in multiple languages. Jake kept himself between her and every shadow, his rifle raised and ready. How many others? Zara asked, her hope daring to kindle. My team's extracted 47 so far, Jake said, checking corners as they moved. We're not leaving anyone behind. They rounded a corner and came face to face with 2 Krill guards, their mandibles clicking in alarm. Jake didn't hesitate. 2 shots, perfectly placed, and both guards collapsed. Stay close, he ordered. Pulling Zara behind him, they reached the extraction point, a loading bay where a human dropship waited, its ramp lowered. A woman in combat gear, Lieutenant Emma Reyes, by her insignia, rushed forward to meet them. Oh my God, Emma breathed. Seeing Zara, she immediately knelt to the young Philesian's level. Hey there, honey. I'm Emma. We're going to take care of you now, okay? Zara nodded, tears suddenly streaming down her furred cheeks. It didn't understand why these humans, these relative newcomers to the galaxy, cared so much about the fate of a worthless slave girl from a species no one respected. Jake radioed something to his team as Emma guided Zara up the ramp. Inside the dropship, Zara saw them dozens of freed slaves from a dozen different species, all huddled together, all wearing the same expression of shocked disbelief. A medic wrapped a thermal blanket around Zara's shoulders and pressed a nutrient pack into her hands. "Drink this slowly," the medic said gently. As the dropship lifted off, Zara watched through the viewport as the krill compound erupted in flames below. Human soldiers were everywhere, systematically dismantling the trafficking operation with ruthless efficiency. Zara asked again, looking up at Emma, who sat beside her. "Your species barely knows us. Why risk your lives?" Emma's expression was soft but fierce. "Because back on Earth, we have a saying, all that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. We learned that lesson the hard way, kid. We're not going to stand by while others suffer, not if we can help it." Jake dropped into the seat across from them, exhausted but satisfied. "Besides," he added with a tired smile, "someone's got to show these advanced civilizations what actual humanity looks like." Zara clutched her nutrient pack, something warm and unfamiliar blooming in her chest. Hope. For the first time in 3 years, she dared to hope for a future. And it was all because, to humans, Jake Martinez and Emma Reyes had decided that one small alien life was worth fighting for. The galaxy would learn, Zara thought, as the dropship jumped to faster-than-light speed. The galaxy would learn what humans were truly capable of when they saw injustice, and the universe would never be the same.